Alright, what's up today? Today we have a very special feature. Something that I was kind of torn on whether I wanted to use, right? Because the thing is, with this team, it is actually pretty good at what it does, but all it does is it beats Sun teams really well. And I gotta be honest, we have encountered like no Sun teams when using it. If we encounter a Sun team, I'll go a bit more into detail about why Psyduck's there. Obviously, no need for questions. Golduck would be better. But at the end of the day, I'm playing a video game. I'm not here to be doing the most optimal thing all the time. Sometimes I want to have fun. So today we're running Psyduck with a weakness policy Cinderace, Assault Vest, Rillaboom, Life Orb, Primarina, and Specs Indeedee. First thing I noticed is Specs Indeedee plus Primarina is really good here. This Psyduck Cinderace is like a strategy, but it doesn't work as well when my opponent has Redirection, Intimidate on the same team, Trick Room, or Dragapult. Those are the three things. Seeing as my opponent has Redirection, Intimidate, and Trick Room, not too keen on going for the Psyduck and the Cinderace. But besides that, it's really good at beating Sun. And while we get ready, I think I'll explain it just a little bit. The reason it's so good at beating Sun is Psyduck has Cloud 9, right? For those that don't know, Cloud 9, it negates the effects of weather, which is really cool, really cool ability. But that's not all. When paired with a Cinderace, I go for Surf, right? I go for Surf, and what it does is it activates my weakness policy, and also it would obviously break a Focus Sash on Venusaur. On top of that, Venusaur is not doubled in speed because my ability ignores the effects of the Sun. So Venu is slow, I activate my weakness policy, I break their Focus Sash, and then Cinderace knocks out the Togekiss. It's a flawless execution. Nothing could go wrong with this game plan, I gotta be honest. So, sitting here this turn 1, I kind of want to Expanding Force. I kind of just want to Expanding Force the Togekiss because it's really good damage, and Max Geyser the Instant. I could choose to go for something else, but I really do think that Expanding Force, like I could have Hyper Voiced, right? I could have gone for a Hyper Voice and potentially maybe a Moonblast even, or a Max Starfall. But I really do think that this is going to be putting me in a really good spot. Like, the Expanding Force, I haven't featured this much. Expanding Force does crazy. Wait. No way. My opponent is immediately Dynamaxing their Incineroar in front of my Primarina. Well, I'm glad I Expanding Force now. How much is Expanding Force going to do to Togekiss? Hopefully the answer is a lot. I would guarantee that it'll put it in range of Max Geyser. What is the deal with all these Dynamax Incineroars coming out today? Not today specifically, but I fought a few others today, and we also fought it back on the channel, not too far back. The good question here is, what are we going to see from the Incineroar? Is it going to try to max Lightning? Or is it going to be just trying to max Darkness and take out my Indeedee? I could see either. But both just seem like such a weird gameplay. Because no matter what, for this turn, I can just go for a Max Geyser and knock out that Incineroar. There is no way. You cannot tell me there is any way that Incineroar lives a Max Geyser in rain. I don't believe it. We're going to go Rillaboom. I want to potentially fake out whatever comes in next to the Incineroar. And if it's a Dusclops, I'm probably going to actually double up the Dusclops. I don't know that Incineroar has Max Guard, but I feel like the worst thing that happens here is a Max Guard Trick Room, right? And so they might not be able to go for that, but I feel like knocking off Dusclops and Max Geysering Dusclops is pretty safe, right? It will... See, there's the Max Guard. I didn't know they had it, but the reasoning behind it is I'm pretty sure that Knockoff plus Max Geyser knocks out Dusclops anyways, mostly because we get rid of their Eviolite, and then we fire off a strong attack. I'm sure that even without the reduction, or without the, no, my bad. I'm sure that even with the reduction of damage that Eviolite would be doing, I'm pretty sure we still would get that knockout with the Max Geyser. So anyways, I kind of called out the Max Guard. I mean, I didn't really. I'm not going to take too much credit for calling that out. You don't ever call an Incineroar to Max Guard. That's just whack. But we do call them out turn 1. And, yeah. Or turn 2, I mean. My bad. Call them out turn 2. And we basically had a 2-turn battle. Turn 1, we knock out Togekiss. They knock out my Indeedee. I don't really care. Turn 2, we knock out their Dusclops as they Max Guard, and the game's over. That might be the fastest non-disconnect we've ever had on the channel. I think that is the fastest game we've ever had. There was that one game where I think I might have disconnected really early on, and we did a three battle episode. But this might be a 3-battler, especially if we can't show off Psyduck. I'm going to try to get a lot of games to showcase why Psyduck is actually viable. We are now also in top 1,000. Psyduck in top 1,000? Easiest clickbait title in my life. Obviously, I'm not going to do it, but that's pretty funny. So, while we're searching for this next battle, like I said, I've just been thinking about it, right? Everyone's been running Sun. Everyone says Sun is the meta. But then the moment you want to face Sun teams, you're not going to. Like, look at that. What is that? I would not dream of seeing Dragapult, Sand, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Whimsicott ever when using a normal team. But the moment I roll up with an anti-Sun team, none. No Sun. No Sun at all. Where's the fire types besides Cinderace? You know? We play against Quad Fire. We play against... I'm just telling you guys. The matchup luck just doesn't make sense sometimes. But that's alright. That's alright. If we never bring Psyduck and we win every game, that's fine. It's a point to show that you can't always use cool stuff to win. Sometimes you gotta use a little bit of straightforward stuff. Like I said, Primarina basically destroys this guy. Especially in combination with the Psychic Terrain from Indeedee. So, I'm going to lead with Dusclops Rillaboom, trying to get my Trick Room up safely. Hopefully that goes my way and we do get up Trick Room, because if Primarina ever Dynamaxes, it knocks out 5, maybe even 6 of my opponent's Pokemon in one hit. So, Primarina is going to be really good under Trick Room. The reason we're bringing Indeedee, by the way, obviously Indeedee is a faster Pokemon if you check out the paste in the description. The reason we have it is to get rid of my opponent's terrain. So, this could be concerning. Okay, here's what happens. Let me lay this one down for you. So, Cinderace and Dragapult. Which one had a choice scarf? Hold on. I can't read what I believe is Japanese. I didn't know which one was a choice. Anyways, basically what's happening here is I'm going to fake out Cinderace and Trick Room, and if they find a way to knock out my Dusclops, there is nothing I can do about that. Like, they always get that knockout. If they can find a way around this by Dynamaxing Cinderace in some way, they always get me. They do Dynamax the Dragapult, though, which in my estimates means that I should be good here. I should be good. Because we're faking out the Cinderace, like I said. I wish I remembered who was Life Orb and who was Choice Scarf, but I gotta be honest, I wasn't paying that close attention because I'm used to being able to read the names. Max Phantasm goes into Dusclops. We are even to live a Life Orb one. So, not bad, not bad. We do live. Are they Life Orb? Is it Life Orb or is it on the Cinderace? Okay, so it was actually Choice Scarf Cinderace from my opponent and Life Orb on the Dragapult. Interesting. Interesting scout out. Thank you, Dusclops, for telling me this weird information that I definitely needed to know. So now we're in a position where we get to click the best move in the game. Pain Split. Steal some of Cinderace's HP and also damage it. I think we're going to double it. High Horsepower and Pain Split. Most likely my opponent's just going to knock out Dusclops with another Max Phantasm. On the chance they don't, though, I want as much HP as possible. So, we're waiting for my opponent to think about this one. Like I said, we know they're Choice Scarfed, right? We know they're Choice Scarfed, so we know they can't protect from this. So, as long as I don't have one of my famous high horsepower misses, we should be good. They do switch out, actually. Did they have anything to resist ground besides Rillaboom? No. See, that's going to be taking a very good amount of damage from this, actually. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. Pain Split's going to knock him down to about half, I think. Right? About half? A little bit above half. But this high horsepower is going to be doing a good chunk, if not knocking out. Oh, look at that. The invisible... Wait. Oh my goodness. Okay, my heart almost stopped. Now, why, you may ask? Why? Why was that scary? Well, you know, I gotta be honest, I thought that was Focus Band. I thought that was Focus Band Tyranitar. And obviously, Focus Band being a bad item, not seeing any play, because it's like a, what is it, like a 10% chance to let you live on 1 HP at any point. I missed that KO, and I saw the item activate, and I was like, oh no. That's not a thing that should exist. But thankfully, they're not that. They're weakness policy. I was so ready for them to be Focus Band. But like I said, they're not, so it's fine. So here, we're going to Nightshade, get the knockout, and knock off this Dragapult's Life Orb. Because honestly, it's been doing a little bit too much damage. Been a little annoying there. They're thinking a lot about... Like I always say this a lot. I don't think my opponent needs to think this much about their play here. This seems like one of those pretty straightforward plays. It's like you max guard if you got it. You switch out Tyranitar, I guess, into Cinderace. Is Cinderace, yep. They're just trying to take a Nightshade here. Put it down to about half. Knock off. Not doing a crazy amount, but you know, any damage is good damage. And like I said, the main thing there is we get rid of their Life Orb, which is really cool. They Wormwind the Dusclops, getting themselves an easy knockout here. But I don't feel too bad about this situation. Primarina comes in now, and like, I don't think they ever stop Primarina. We get an easy knockout with a max Starfall on Dragapult. And I think even though we're at -2 attack on Rillaboom, because I'm max attack, we should be able to knock out that Cinderace with a high horsepower. Hopefully. If all goes according to plan, we should be good here. Primarina comes in. Gonna be Dynamaxing that right away, like I said. If they want to switch out, I guess I get that. But they've got a 1 HP Tyranitar in the back, which gets knocked out, cleaned up by any of my Pokemon. Especially in Indeedee. Here's the thing. Indeedee does not freely click Expanding Force yet, but if I get rid of that Dragapult, we can actually just click Hyper Voice. Which, seeing as Tyranitar, they're only resist, and Excadrill, I guess, but I forgot about that Pokemon. Seeing as they're one of their only resists is at 1 HP, I don't feel too bad about clicking Hyper Voice at this point. And like I said, they might just have a Rillaboom in the back and be super duper dunzo, because Indeedee's very good at dealing with Rillaboom. So, like I said, we Dynamax. They don't protect Dragapult. They know, even if they protected, they would have got knocked out to protect, I'm pretty sure. So we knock out Dragapult. The question is, do they have a way to live this high horsepower? I think the answer is no. Is it? Is it? Is it? Gonna find out now. High horsepower into the Cinderace at half HP is enough to knock it out. Alright, that's phenomenal. Like, we're up 3-2 at the moment, and my opponent does not have a Dynamax anymore. Only downside is I did get rid of my grassy terrain, but we should be able just to, like, the cool thing is, we can actually just knock out that Tyranitar through Protect this turn, and have no issues with getting rid of that. As Rillaboom is their, okay, so Rillaboom is their last Pokemon, so what I'm going to do actually, is I'm going to choose to hit Tyranitar with my Primarina, and switch my Rillaboom out to Indeedee. Their Grassy Seed, okay. Their Grassy Seed Rillaboom I think Grassy Seed Rillaboom was fine. Personally, I wouldn't really run it. But, alright, we got one more turn of Trick Room, like I said. We're going to Starfall. No. I want my terrain. We're going to Geyser. Geyser Tyranitar. Switch out to Indeedee and be in a pretty good spot here. Alright, see what we got. Like I said, switching to Indeedee. Indeedee's not in a good spot at the moment. Indeedee does not like facing down Tyranitars, I gotta be honest. But it is very good at making Rillaboom do less damage and have no priority, which is my favorite part. Also, funny thing, if you notice, if you go back about 5-10 seconds now, when the Psychic Terrain activated, my little frame here, it blended in with the background, which was really weird. I've never noticed that in any other video before, so just something funny to look at while you're if you want to go back and check it out. Alright, Grassy Glide. Like I said, typically that would have done more and been priority. We would have lived it though, which is good. We would have lived that no matter what, which is nice to know. Trick Room is over, however. Are you ready to see the power of Indeedee with this expanding force? Indeedee is a standalone choice specs Pokemon that they don't even want to show you. It's unfortunate. All right, well, we are gonna be getting a third game today. We didn't get to use Psyduck yet, and I need to find that Sun guy. We need to find somebody running Sun so we can destroy them. So we're looking for another battle. We're about 16 minutes in right now. No reason to cut it short today. I got nothing going on. We are 605. Can we get Psyduck to top 500 on the ladder? And you may be saying, Psyduck hasn't done anything yet. That's not the point. Playing against Franks, 837. What do you got, Franks? No Sun. I'm telling you guys, the team is built, right? The team is built so that even if you don't bring, like, it's designed so that when you don't bring Psyduck, Cinderace, you have good matchups against everything else. So I still have good matchups here. I just wish I could go. I'm going to do it. I want to so badly. Oh, please, please. I just can't. Because if they go Cinderace, it's just dumb. I just shouldn't do that. Because to do it, let me show you the spreads. If you haven't checked out the PokePaste in the description already, we hit 174. Psyduck hits 175 or 6, and Cinderace hits 174. So we underspeed normal Cinderace. So if they go normal Cinderace and they just airstream my Psyduck, we just lose Psyduck turn 1. I just can't justify going for it. So we're going to have to go Dusclops. Pick up Primarina or Indeedee? Let's go Indeedee with Primarina Rillaboom in the back. I'm telling you guys, today's not a Psyduck episode, unfortunately. But that is only more reason to keep an eye out for the episodes in the following days, because we're not going to stop using this team until I use Psyduck. There, I said it. We're going to keep it going, because I really, really think that we can show off some potential for, like I said, it doesn't have to be Psyduck, but Golduck can be the key to beating Sun, I think. Yeah, look at that. They go with Braviary and Cinderace. It really is, like, that would have just been terrible for Psyduck. Absolutely terrible. So I'm very glad we did not do that. The question is, what do I go for here? Because obviously I'm going to try to Trick Room. And I want to Expanding Force. But if they have Max Darkness, it's definitely better for me to Dazzle. But maybe Expanding Force is still better. I'm going to Expanding Force. Let's go for an Expanding Force. And if they have... Did they have a Rillaboom? Incin. Okay. So, if Incin comes in and they max Darkness, then we obviously don't want to be locked into Expanding Force here. They bounce. Oh. Huh. Very curious indeed. Because he's going to avoid my attack there. And we're obviously going to get Trick Room up. The question is, 1, where the heck is he bouncing? And 2, what is Incineroar going for? I think I'm just going to stay in. Because I could potentially try to switch on to Primarina. But if I switch on to Primarina and I take a bounce, that's really not good. So we're going to choose to let my Indeedee go down to the Starkest Lariat. Because We could have switched in Primarina to take the Darkest Lariat, but there would be no point. If I switched in Primarina and took a Darkest Lariat, and also took a bounce, I would lose so much HP, it would be devastating. My opponent does get the bounce paralysis, which is really sad, because that shuts us down very effectively now. As everyone knows, if you get paralyzed, you lose your turn. Knowing how I play, we're going to get paralyzed at least once in this battle, and it's going to matter. So I think we'll go for Nightshade one more time here. And I think we'll just max Geyser Instant. Take the Incineroar out. He has no switch it. There is nothing that switches in on this. I take it back. There is one thing that switches in on this. I forgot why I was saving in DD. And it's coming back to me now. It really is coming back to me. It was that Pokemon, Among Us. I feel like a fool now. I wish I had max ice on this Primarina. I have max grass because I didn't have time to get a max ice. Alright, we max Geyser. How much is it doing? How much is it doing? It's gonna do like half to Amoonguss. Alright, well, Primarina's like when there is not an entry or a path to victory, forge your own. And it decides just to crit the Amoonguss. Well, I'm gonna Nightshade the Amoonguss and Geyser the Amoonguss, because either they switch out the Amoonguss and they lose another Pokemon to max Geyser, or they lose Amoonguss to Nightshade. Obviously, we got pretty lucky there with the crit, but I think I played that turn like garbage and really should have played better. So that was the game just bailing me out there. He has Protect on the Amoonguss. We get paralyzed anyways. And we max Geyser. It shouldn't knock out through Protect because that... Huh. It knocked out through Protect. Interesting. Not what I was expecting, honestly. And Primarina dodges the bounce. I am the luckiest player today. I really am. Some days it is not my day, and other days it just is my day. Today's one of those is days, and I don't really know how to comprehend that, but that's fine. We'll take what we are given, obviously. No questioning some good luck. Max Geyser here, and Pain Split Braviary. Braviary is kind of a threat, but with, like, a proper endgame, I should be able to beat it. We'll see. I'm going to be max Geysering the Cinderace because I feel like Braviary might max Guard. I don't know that, but I definitely could see it happening. And I obviously don't want to fire a max move into it. There we go, too. Cinderace switching out into the Incineroar, giving me a free knockout on Incineroar. Incineroar was a huge threat. Incineroar was an absolutely huge threat. So especially if Braviary goes for a... Wow, no Protect even. We Pain Split just to get some HP back. Max Geyser knocks out Incin. What are you going for? My opponent has not Dynamaxed, obviously. Where are you going? Brave Bird, maybe? Brave Bird into the Dusclops. How much is that going to do? Like half, maybe? No, like 40% at most. 35 even. Trick Room's over, too. Interesting, interesting. Well, so the question is, right, is does my opponent target my Primarina or not? Because, like, if they don't target Primarina, it's the freest attack ever. If they do target Primarina, obviously, I don't want to be attacking. I want to protect Trick Room. But if I get Trick Room, because we saw how much that Brave Bird did, right? Brave Bird is not enough to knock out Dusclops. So it kind of feels like they need to double my Dusclops, which is making me want to Moonblast one of them. I guess we'll Moonblast Braviary. Because Cinderace could change to be a Steel type, and we don't want that. Because, like, I could see them Steel Spiking and Brave Birding my Dusclops. That wouldn't be too crazy. That wouldn't be that. I mean, I'd be a little surprised, but hopefully they do pick up on the smart, in my opinion, the smart play, and hopefully they double Dusclops. Because I should just protect here. Airstreaming makes sense too. So look, they hit the Dusclops. Brave Bird might not even knock me out. Hold on a second. Brave Bird actually might not knock me out, which would be crazy. Crazy talk. Brave Bird goes off. Doesn't even get the knockout. Okay, it does get the knockout. I would have been... I don't remember how much I did the first time, but it seemed like in some weird, wacky world, we could have actually lived that. Not that I would have really expected it, but... would have been funny. I would have laughed. I would have thought it was funny. So, looking at this board, clearly, Primarina is the biggest threat, and hopefully, here's another one of those hopefully situations, right? Last turn it was hopefully my opponent is smart enough to double the Dusclops, right? Now, this is an interesting tactic. A very high level tactic is hoping your opponent is smart. It's risky. It actually is quite risky because there is no guarantee that your opponent is going to know what they're doing. But in this situation, I think it is in my opponent's best interest to attack Primarina. Because they might think at this point that I don't have Protect. So I think even though the Protect is incredibly obvious, they should target Primarina. And I could be dead wrong. They might just Airstream my Rillaboom and destroy me. But logic would say to me that they would Airstream my Primarina. I'm wrong. Like I said, I went on being about how, you know, you need your opponent to make the right play. And you never know. The other big thing is you never know. I don't know why he made that play. I don't. Because he didn't even know that I had Protect, right? I could have just been a Protectless Primarina. So, like I said, in my position, I think it's correct to Protect there. But for whatever reason, my opponent does not respect that. Therefore, I am going to be... or they read me. They could have obviously read me to protect Primarina. We get the double. Hold on. Hold on just 2 seconds. They max Airstream. We might win this game anyways now, because I got the double. But the point of that whole thing was, there are plays that your opponent like should make if they're thinking along the same smart game plan that you are. That was one of those situations where I don't know if they just didn't realize it, or if they outplayed me. You'll never know. Being outplayed is hard to identify in this game, which is why a lot of people usually say, oh, I threw the game. It wasn't my opponent outplayed me, it was I threw. And so, that's one of those situations where I don't actually know. Okay, they over Pyro Ball. If this misses the knockout and we hit a Hydro Cannon, we actually still win this game. Do we live? How much does Cinderace do? Okay, Primarina. Hey, there it is. So, I did get a read wrong, but I got a double protect to win the game. You take those. I mean, as long as you guys can take something away from how I was speaking about making reads and stuff, that's all that matters from that situation. The battle was kind of wacky in that end game, but the idea is when you get to the higher level of Pokemon, it happens in every level, but when you get to the higher level, there will be those situations where you don't know if you're like, if I'm playing my sister's friend who's never played Pokemon, I don't know what she's gonna do, so I can't bank on her making a smart play. I should just make obvious plays. But in a lot of other situations, I could bank that he knows I can't let. In that situation, I could say I know he can't let me get Trick Room, so he is going to double target Dusclops. And if he's smart, he double targets Dusclops. But let's just say for a moment, he either says, you're going to get paralyzed, and I don't care about the chance that you won't get paralyzed. And he decides to hit Primarina anyways. I can't counter for that. I'm not supposed to call my opponent to call me to get paralyzed. They might be right, but I'm not supposed to read that, you know? So just a quick little bit on reads, you know? If you stuck till the end of the video, hopefully that was a little bit useful for you guys. I do think that I will talk a bit more in the future about making reads and whatnot. But yeah, if you stuck around, thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow with some more Psyduck. Hopefully we can make him work.